also providing defensibility so that when a regulator came and asked where an institution was on the remediation activity, or to report on the level of exposure that an institution has.
Support provided by the Vital Credit Card. Make a statement in your wallet with a sleek metal credit card that pays you cash back when you share and spend responsibly while helping you improve your credit health. Request your invite at vital.fintechconfidential.com. Welcome to Fintech Confidential, bringing you the people, tech, and companies that change how you pay and get paid. I'm excited to introduce to you Abrar Huq, the co-founder and chief revenue officer for Arteria AI. He's a former lawyer and AI expert, and Abrar specializes in delivering AI and technology products and solutions really focused from the legal industry perspective. Now, prior to Arteria, Abrar was a partner at Deloitte Canada in the Omnia AI artificial intelligence practice, where he was the operations lead overseeing the daily operations of the practice and over 500 plus practitioners across Canada and Chile. Abrar, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Ted.
Tune in as we go through and we discuss Arteria AI's innovative approach to helping banks and other fintechs make faster and more informed decisions, and hear more about Abrar's expertise in AI in the legal industry. And listen all the way to the end, because he's going to provide some guidance for fintech founders on how to build a successful company. Abrar, before we start diving into Arteria's past and present and future, how did you first become interested in fintech, and what led you to co-found Arteria?
It's a great question. It's not an easy answer, but take you through a little bit of the background. I've spent some time in the legal industry. My background is in law. It's not in banking. It's not necessarily in finance, although I did do an undergraduate degree in finance. It didn't really turn into anything professionally. I went straight into law school after that, but I quickly realized that I didn't want to be practicing law on a day-to-day basis. That wasn't what got me excited in the morning. What got me excited in the mornings and what got me out of bed was doing new and interesting and innovative things and thinking about things differently and how to approach traditional problems in a different way. And that started out in a very legal focus. One of my first jobs out of law school was not as a practicing lawyer, but actually working at a legal technology company that had been founded by Arteria AI's current CEO, Shelby Austin. We grew that startup to about a couple hundred people. We were focused on a similar type of problem to what we are today, although more focused on how law firms delivered their services. It was more of a people-oriented business than a technology-oriented business. We successfully exited that business, selling that business to Deloitte, which is how we ended up at Deloitte. Once we got to Deloitte, we were the data people, the analytics people, not necessarily in financial services specifically, but because of where we were, who we worked with, who our client base was, banking, especially in Canada, where we were based and still are based and headquartered. Banking is one of the biggest industries here. The big five Canadian banks generate a lot of revenue for the consulting firms. So at Deloitte, they were a big priority for us. And so that is how I became a financial services practitioner consultant in those days, starting out focused on data and analytics problems, ultimately into delivering AI programs for financial institutions. And that was sort of my first foray into fintechs. And it was there at Deloitte that we ultimately built the foundation for what is now Arteria AI. We initially called it D-Tracks. We built it at Deloitte, incubated it within Deloitte, within their Omnia AI practice. That's where Shelby and I met our third co-founder at Arteria AI, Jonathan Wong, who was the the product lead and ran the product factory for Deloitte's AI practice there. And we developed what is now known as Arteria at Deloitte. We were able to get a little bit of success with our banking clients and financial services clients through the Deloitte network and through our existing client base at Deloitte. And we're able to really incubate a product that really got to a decent amount of product market fit. And we knew we had something here. We knew we needed to put the foot on the gas. And that really precipitated the spin out from Deloitte. So we ultimately left Deloitte with this as a spin out. And we were able to do that and also to get VC funding shortly thereafter. So we did a Series A several months after we spun out from Deloitte, and that has really accelerated and propelled us in our journey as an independent company that still has a very good relationship with Deloitte and works closely with Deloitte in a lot of realms, although we are fully independent today. And that takes us to the journey that we're on right now, which is our second startup journey for Shelby and I, and a little bit of a return to our roots as entrepreneurs.
That journey is very telling. I mean, a lot of people fall into those types of situations where you start one thing, it gets acquired, it transforms into something different, and then spawns off a completely new industry or vertical that you're playing in. And you mentioned a number of pieces in there, but I'm really curious for you to tell me about the Arteria AI vision and mission for improving client document processes, especially in the financial industry.
Yeah. So our mandate is pretty simple. At the end of the day, we want to make contracting and documentation processes frictionless. Too often, especially in financial services, these are manual processes that are rife with friction points, not just for clients or customers of a financial institution, but also bankers and those that are working within a financial institution. Documentation's often been forgotten in digital transformation, remains analog, and our mission is to ensure that documentation is frictionless and that we enable data flow within an organization. That's the second part of our mission and our mandate. Everything that we do is around data. That comes from a little bit of our roots at Deloitte, having spent a fair bit of time devoted to developing and helping financial institutions with data-related problems. We think about documentation in a very data-oriented way. And you see that manifest in our company name, Arteria AI, as well. It's as some of you may have surmised already, it comes from the Latin root for artery. And we think of data as being the vital lifeblood of a financial institution, really of any organization, not just financial institutions. And documents are these very important critical arteries that carry all of this data within an organization. And ultimately, their documents are the basis for which relationships are formed within humankind, but also within financial institutions as well. Anytime a financial institution interacts with the customer, there's typically a document involved and data that's locked within that document. And so we help to enable the flow of all of that data.
That is a big piece. I was just talking to a couple people today. Actually, one of my good friends said, "Hey, I sent a contract and an invoice over to somebody. I don't even know if they've looked at it. They said they can't read the banking stuff, but typed it in. So how can they not read it?" That type of friction, I could see where a product like Arteria AI streamlines that and gives you a little bit better understanding of your accounts receivables and what kind of other things may be going on, which makes it really one of the things that I wanted to learn a little bit more about. And if you could please share with us more about the team behind Arteria AI and their experiences in legal and financial industries that really bring that to the forefront.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite teams that I've ever worked with in my entire career. And we have very varying and diverse backgrounds. And that helps us to think about clients differently, think about client problems differently. So you obviously have folks that have the legal background. Myself, Shelby, our CEO, is also an ex-attorney back in her day, a former partner at a law firm in a previous life. We've since moved on and then became data people through our time at Deloitte and consultants. Our team also consists of bankers, ex-bankers that have spent time dealing with documentation, really feeling the pain that financial institutions are feeling when they're dealing with documentation. They've been on the front lines. They've experienced what documentation means. They also understand what the impact is downstream of having better documentation processes. What does that enable for the institution? How much does that enable for a customer? These are the types of things that we're able to get. I myself have never worked in a financial institution. I've worked with financial institutions for my entire career, and I spent a lot of time in offices and head offices and a lot of boardrooms with financial institutions, but never been on the other side. But we have bankers that work with us now on our team that provide that lens and are the advocates for the clients. And you really see that in our product. And then also from a technical perspective, we've been very fortunate to be able to bring together really an incredible technical roster. I mentioned our third co-founder, Jonathan Wong, is also our CTO, who ran the product factory at Deloitte. We also have heading up our data science team that leads all of our AI initiatives, Dr. Abrar Huq, who has spent his entire career working on very complex problems. We're very lucky that he's chosen to make documentation his problem for this period of time. But he's grew up as an astrophysicist. As he likes to tell me, he maps the universe. Or was trying to map the universe in his previous life. And we're just very fortunate to be able to have that caliber of thinker, that caliber of experience brought into the fold here. And you really are able to create some magical things when you bring such diverse backgrounds together and put them in a room with a whiteboard and give them a banking problem or a lending problem or a payments problem. And all of a sudden, all these different perspectives are able to really create something that's really unique and really magical.
With that diverse of a group, I mean, that is amazing to have that kind of a group to work together. Former bankers, former attorneys, astrophysicists. That is a crazy mixture of people. Let me word it this way. What have been some of the biggest lessons that you and the Arteria AI team have learned through the process, especially having such a diverse group of people looking at things in a completely different way? I'm really curious to understand, what is the biggest thing you guys have learned?
It's a great question and something that's particularly pointed for us because we actually spun out during the pandemic. And so Arteria AI was created in October of 2020 as a new entity. And so we grew up in a virtual world that had to learn how to work together in a virtual world and had to bring all of these diverse viewpoints together in a virtual world. And we had to do a lot of work to be able to foster a culture and community in which you can really create the safety and the energy that you need in order to make something magical happen by bringing these diverse viewpoints together. You can bring the best people together around a table, but in order to cultivate those ideas, you need to foster a culture of trust, of belonging, and a community where you're all working together, rowing the boat in the same direction, communicating clearly, where we all sort of understand what the ultimate objectives are, what the ultimate mission is, what the ultimate client pain points that we're solving for are, and really building that type of environment is critical and was critical for us in order to be successful. If we were just 6 or 7 smart people sitting around a board table, going one at a time, raising ideas, we probably wouldn't be where we are. But the fact that we're able to build a community and a culture where we're able to share ideas, be critical with each other in a empathetic way that doesn't create friction. There's healthy friction. There'll always be healthy friction within a successful startup and any product company. But ensuring that's healthy, that's really what has been one of the big lessons and a point of emphasis for us growing up in a pandemic-oriented world.
In the intro, we talked about this being all new and growing in a pandemic world, being remote. That is definitely a challenge. Have you learned anything special about and around the bank or financial technologies that maybe you wouldn't have thought of before as you've gone on that journey?
Oh, tons. And a lot of that is client driven. It's new and innovative use cases that we haven't thought of, because we're not there on the ground day to day that the financial institution is. And they're able to have the creativity and the wherewithal to look at what we offer, how we deliver it, and think about how it could be applied in a different way. When we first started out at Arteria, we looked at financial institutions and we had sketched out a list of what we saw as about 50 different use cases for Arteria AI within financial institutions. If we were to do that exercise today and gather all the use cases, we would be well into the hundreds. We've learned so much, and all of that has come through our clients and sitting with our clients and listening to our clients. And also that what I talked about in terms of fostering an environment where you're able to create something magical from a product perspective, you also have to build that same relationship with your customers and your clients and build the ability to have that trust where they're not looking at you as a salesperson that's walking in hawking the machine that does X, Y, and Z. They're thinking about a solution that can enable A, B, and C, and maybe it can be applied in this way if we think about it in a slightly different way. It's been one of the most exciting things about the Arteria journey. And I've personally learned a lot about financial institutions. The world of financial institutions is constantly evolving, and COVID played a very interesting role in everyone's view and the priorities and all of that. And we've been fortunate to be able to grow along that.
If you had to pick one thing that is the biggest lesson that you've learned with the financial institution and with other banks or any fintech that you've worked with, what would that one big one that you feel moved you to that next level?
Ooh. They made me think about that one for a second.
I promise you it's not a gotcha question. It's more
no.
Just trying to drill in.
I need to try to think of how to phrase it without getting myself in trouble.
See, that darn legal background is keeping us from getting the real answer. I see how it is.
Attorney of ours was just barking away in the back there. One lesson. Yeah. So the biggest lesson that we've learned, and this I think surprises a lot of customers and institutions that we work with, is the fact that truly documentation has been forgotten in a lot of transformation work in terms of processes, even in terms of resources and how it's handled and who does the documentation work. We often come across is customers that think that they're not mature enough, and that they're behind. Everyone else is ahead of them. But we work with some of the biggest institutions in the world. We work with institutions that are less than $1 billion in assets, they're a couple $100 million in assets. They all have similar problems. Everyone has documentation challenges. Everyone has neglected because it's been neglected as an industry. It hasn't been a focal point, and it's okay. It's there's that the maturity of this little niche that we're in around documentation hasn't been there. We, along with a couple of other innovative fintechs, are helping bring the financial institutions along in that realm, but it's never too early, and you're never too far behind what anyone else is doing, no matter how big or small or what shape or size that the institution is.
Look at how many times people are announcing a digital transformation, or they're announcing a new digital product, or they're announcing all these different things, but yet they haven't looked for efficiencies internally, especially with the documentation. And when you look at things like contracts, you look at the pricing schedules, you look at all the different things that go around that, there's a ton of things you can extract out of the business to understand how well you're doing and where the business is moving forward. That's kind of probably why Deloitte really was looking at this AI and really focused on this piece of it. Can you share with us the decision and what it was like when the decision to spin off from Deloitte as a separate entity was decided, and how has that contributed to the company's success?
Oh, Deloitte has been foundational. They got this product started. They invested in the initial build, but really this seed funding, as it were, would have come from Deloitte. There's inherent limitations that come with working with and working in one of the largest professional services firm in the world, but also one of the large audit firms in the world. One of the challenges that arises out of that becomes how capital can be raised and how cap tables can be shared between entities that audit other firms and other shareholders' work, and the SEC takes a good hard look at all of that very, very closely. Ultimately, that was one of the big contributing factors, was thinking about, as we take this product to the next level, we need to invest in it, whether that's in Deloitte, outside of Deloitte, whatever. In order to really start the hockey stick, we need to pour some money in. It would have been very difficult to do that within the Deloitte construct, and that was one of the biggest reason for looking for alternative ways to get the investment that we needed in order to continue our growth trajectory and go beyond. It was immensely helpful in incubating our product, getting our initial clients. The Deloitte network has always been a big supporter of ours, and continues to be. I think many of our leaders and staff are within the Deloitte alumni network, and we're in senior positions at Deloitte. I was a partner at Deloitte. Jonathan, our CTO, obviously ran the product factory. Shelby Austin, our CEO, was the managing partner of the Omni AI practice at Deloitte. So we have relationships and networks within Deloitte that we still use on a daily basis. And they work with us. We work with them. I was just on a call this morning, actually, that came through a Deloitte referral. And that will never change. That's just, our network is our network, and they'll continue to be supporters of ours. But we do maintain that independence now that helps us to really hit our full potential.
So you've mentioned a couple times that being a part of Deloitte kept you from raising outside funds and keeping and having the SEC eyes on you around all that stuff. Since the spinoff, how much have you guys raised since then? And are you expecting to raise more funds in the future? The most common cause of bad customer experience isn't that high tech. It's embarrassingly simple. Yep, it's answering questions. In e-commerce, it's really easy to get bogged down with common questions, whether that's where's my package, how do I return or exchange this item, or just to cancel a subscription. Solvpath is an AI-driven customer support system that enhances the customer experience with visual formats and self-serve technology to empower your customers to handle their own support requests. Get the best customer support system for your business. Get Solvpath. Get started by visiting getsolvpath.com.
Clarify around the SEC point. That's just a natural SEC independence rule around what the big four audit firms they can do and what sort of marketplace activities they can take part in. Less about the SEC watching us and more about literally which Deloitte would not be able to do that and we would not be able to do that as Arteria. But as far as raises go and funding, so shortly after we spun out, we did a Series A that was led by a series of fintech-oriented VCs that are backed by financial institutions from around the world. We've been fortunate to have great VCs that have been very supportive and have truly been partners and mentors along our journey. So in terms of numbers, that's public. That was an $11 million USD Series A that we did. We subsequently did a strategic round that wasn't a Series B, but something post A, where Citibank and BDC, Business Development Bank of Canada, came on board as investors of ours. That was last summer, and so we're gearing up right now in an interesting climate where we have been fortunate to withstand some of the headwinds that unfortunately some other tech companies have faced in the last couple months. We've managed to withstand that, and fingers crossed and knock on wood are projecting to come out of that okay. And so we'll look at doing some subsequent round in the near future, a Series B.
With the way that you help financial institutions maximize their revenues and save time and cost, how does Arteria AI do those things? How do they maximize the revenue? How do they save time? How do you save on costs?
Fundamentally, what we are there to do is to, from a operational layer or a day-to-day user of the product, is typically a banker or a loan officer or someone that's dealing with a customer. So we largely deal with customer documentation. Not necessarily the procurement or vendor documentation. That's typically a different discipline. Anytime a financial institution is dealing with a customer or a revenue generating activity, that's where we come in to enable the data flow and enable the documentation. And what we do is we are built with standard REST APIs throughout. And our general principle is we want to use as much data as possible that already exists within the universe of an institution, whether that's within their core or an LOS or a homegrown data system of some kind. Use that data to generate a document of best fit. So that typically means mapping the data elements that reside within a core or an LOS to a template library and a clause library that sit within Arteria to generate the T's and C's or the document or the credit agreement, or you can go from anything as simple as an NDA or like fee schedules can be complex, but they look relatively short and compact to complex syndicated loan documents. We run the gamut in Arteria today. And we basically generate those documents automatically. And so a loan officer or a banker or a trader doesn't need to consult a lawyer, have an attorney go and prepare the document where the document may go into the ether while the attorney is working on it for a day, a week, month. We've all been there where you send something to an attorney to look at, and then 4 weeks later you're wondering if they've even gotten to it yet. Yeah. It's the first bit of automation and operational efficiency and time savings. On top of that, we have a full negotiation and collaboration capability, and that's where a lot of our AI comes in, is around reading markups, red lines, changes that have been made either internally or externally. So if you need to change some terms or change parts of the document and need to get approval internally, we facilitate that through our negotiation and collaboration module. Or if there's markups from the counterparty or counterparties, those get accessed through that. On all of that is layered a structured data model. And what that ultimately means is that the bankers, the attorneys, if they're involved, the approvers, they're all interacting with something that looks and feels like a document. So it's very familiar to them. But what they're actually interacting with is structured data that's been represented to look like a document. A little bit of our Deloitte roots meets our attorney roots, melding together in the product. There's effectively two layers to the product. There's the, I call it the surface layer that the users are interacting with, that an attorney would be familiar with, something that looks and feels similar to what they would typically do when they fire up Microsoft Word and make changes to a document. For the engineers and the data people, there's a structured data model on. And so as the document is being manipulated, changed, approvals go through, markups are made, the structured data model is capturing all of those changes that are happening. And so once you ultimately execute the document or finalize the document, you have a fully digitized representation of what's contained within that document aligned to your data model that can be sent back into your data sources or your core system or LOS, whatever the case may be. And so that's the Arteria blood flow of the data from within the document. We send it back to the institution after the document's been finalized and executed.
So I heard a number of systems that you mentioned in there, and I'm only guessing that these things aren't normally connected. They're very disconnected and disjointed.
Yeah.
How kind of experience is this converting into for the clients and their clients for this document management journey that you just discussed?
Yeah, it's very much a journey that doesn't happen in isolation of data teams, engineering teams, and really the infrastructure of an institution. And so you think about documentation as being a neglected part of the digital transformation. It's also neglected as part of the infrastructure. Often are working side by side with enterprise architects, who are thinking about the bigger picture from a data perspective, and slotting the documentation in, as part of that overall infrastructure vision and approach and, what they're architecting from an infrastructure perspective. It's really fun. That's really what gets a lot of juice out of, the data flow at the end of the day, is thinking about documentation as part and parcel of your data journey and your digital journey. If it happens in isolation as just a discrete project that you're just focused on documentation by itself, there'll be tremendous operational efficiency for sure. And you'll get a lot of benefit from that. But there's a potential opportunity that you're missing by not enabling the data flow in the way that you should.
Can you walk us through like an example process of structuring data during the documentation lifecycle that you just mentioned, and how by doing that it speeds up the decision making for all the stakeholders? You'd mentioned using AI and a couple other things, but walk us through what that looks and feels like.
Sure. So I'll walk through a couple of different examples. Firstly, I'll walk through a data example, and then I'll walk through an AI example, which is more around the operational efficiency part. The data example, I'll use a simple example, but commonly happens today with institutions of all sizes, is around lending, for example. And within a loan origination system and everything that happens before the documents get prepared, you might have an interest rate that has been agreed on by the borrower as well as the bankers and the loan officers, and a lot of work. And then something happens where ultimately the document's produced, but now this interest rate needs to change within the document. What happens in the status quo is that there's an LOS or a data element within the LOS that has the old interest rate that maybe generates a document that's now a static document that reflects that interest rate. Now, if that interest rate changes as part of the negotiation process or an approval process, that LOS has no way of knowing what the new interest rate is. And that can have a tremendous impact from a servicing perspective, because now you don't know you're relying on somebody throwing up a flag and manually fixing something that exists within the LOS, so that when you go and start to service and get to distribution on a loan, you're doing it appropriately. So that's a simple example that leads to a large amount of risk and could have potentially huge financial implications depending on the loan through just one document that could go awry.
Yeah, I have to ask, what is an LOS?
Loan origination system.
I just wanted to make sure that myself and those listening that aren't familiar with the acronym, get clarity on it. But you were getting ready to go on to the next one.
So around artificial intelligence, one of the biggest challenges that exists around documentation is what do you do with a document that you've never seen before. If you have a templated fee schedule, credit agreement, T's and C's that you use every single day, that's one thing. But if your counterparty proposes a new document, or your attorney prepares a new document, or you're participating in a loan agreement where you have a piece of the loan, but you're not the one that's driving the full agreement. You're not the agent bank within the loan. You are relying on consuming what could be a very complex document and having to break that document apart to feed into your data systems. And what often happens today is hand it over to Ted or Abrar. Ted or Abrar go open up the documents on their computer and start typing into the data system. What our AI does is it takes the document that's come in, scans it, converts it into machine readable text, and then using the models and algorithms that we've developed, basically breaks out that document into individual components and data elements that can facilitate the entry of those specific data points that ultimately need to go into your data systems. So it'll go and find the interest rate and pull that out so that you don't need to find it within a huge 50-page document or 100-page document. And then secondly, automatically populate that data element within in the right format, in alignment with your data model as well. And that's a huge operational efficiency benefit process that has been tackled in a very manual way today and still is tackled in a very manual way today. And using the artificial intelligence, we're really able to get a pretty significant boost in that process.
Tell me about the track record of success that Arteria AI has had with some of the world's largest banks. I can only imagine that these guys have really taken to it really, really well. And I would love to understand, like, what kind of successes have you had with these folks?
Yeah, we've been very fortunate to have a fair amount of success, particularly with the largest financial institutions in the world. I mentioned Citi as one of our investors. They're also a big partner of ours. They work. We work with them in a number of different realms, both from a customer perspective, partner perspective, as well as an investor. So it's a multifaceted relationship there. And there's a number of firms of that ilk that we work closely with. I wish I could name them all. Unfortunately, I'm bound by confidentiality around many of them. So
there's a reason why I said world's largest banks, because I didn't want to drag you into getting into the attorney Abrar coming out yet again.
Yeah,
so
no.
But Citi's it's a good one. And I've seen them do a lot of the things like what you're talking about is they find a technology that builds a ton of function for them and they really like it. So to show support and really help things along, they go into the investment route because it just makes sense for them to get that technology moving forward.
Yeah. And then that was the start of our journey, was actually a little bit different than what a lot of startups start with, and that we tackled the top of the market, the largest firms in the world.
You generally start a little bit lower on the.
Yeah, exactly. We started on hard mode, and our initial focus when we first started out, even in the Deloitte days, was really focused around the 30 globally systemically important banks, and basically the 30 biggest banks in the world were our main priorities.
That definitely is hard mode.
Yeah, it was hard mode, but we were able to build a fair amount of success there. But what we also quickly learned is that the same problems and the same principles apply at all ends of the market. And so now our client base is very diverse. It cuts across all sorts of different sizes of institutions, from regional banks to super regionals to community banks as well. Credit unions have the same issues and same problems that every financial institution deals with documentation, and has similar problems to what the cities of the world are facing.
So you go from the 30 biggest banks out there, right?
Yeah.
And then you realize, hey, the smaller institutions, the smaller companies need this too. What is the common thread between all of those that allowed you to go down market after servicing the big 30-ish in hard mode? What was it that allowed you to go, okay, well, I'm going to go into easy mode now, I guess?
I don't think there is an easy mode when you're in the startup world.
That's true.
But yeah.
True.
No, I know what you're saying. Ultimately, at the end of the day, our product is document agnostic, industry agnostic. We've chosen to focus on financial services, and we think we do it pretty well. But there's nothing inherently about the product that makes it more suitable for financial services or for large institutions. There's maybe some more clear, extraordinary levels of ROI when you have complexity, but that doesn't mean that there isn't ROI if your complexity is scaled down a little bit. And for us, one of the big learnings that we had as we moved into other market segments beyond the 30 largest in the world is that our product was a little bit too big. Not every institution needs every little bell and whistle that we have and every module that we have. And really splitting it down to the problem set in each segment was critical. And it's an ongoing journey that we're going down, developing and building new features, and have a pretty aggressive roadmap that is really trying to solve for each of these market segments. But we need to be thoughtful every time about how does this fit into each of the individual market segments that we're serving.
One of the big things that with my consulting company that we run into a lot are financial institutions and other institutions looking for efficient and effective ways for them to maintain compliance with regulations, rules, and a whole bunch of other reporting characteristics. How would Arteria AI help them in that process? Or does it?
No, absolutely it does. And this is where the Arteria Abrar part of the product comes out and shines. I joke about it, but really, I think a lot of the feedback that we get is that we do bring that the attorney perspective, the data perspective, and the AI perspective, because we have very unique backgrounds and haven't been in all three of those realms, which is pretty unique. But from a compliance and regulatory perspective, that interestingly enough, one of the initial events that really drove the initial adoption and build of Arteria was around regulatory events for financial institutions, whether it be for GDPR 5 years ago, or for our friends across the pond. Brexit was a big driver towards having to change large amounts of contracts and having to repaper their contracts with their customers and everyone that they dealt with. And so not just in being able to accomplish that type of activity was what we were doing, but we were also providing defensibility so that when a regulator came and asked where they were on the remediation activity, where an institution was on the remediation activity, or to report on the level of exposure that an institution has to the LIBOR transition and LIBOR interest rates being phased out. These are the types of things that you're able to capture and report on with our audit trail and reporting capabilities, and and still is one of the big usages of Arteria, but it was particularly poignant in some of our early days when we were serving some of these regulatory activities when they were at the forefront.
I'm going to ask you to take off your regular glasses and put on the glasses that allow you to see well into the future.
Yeah.
What potential opportunities do you see for Arteria AI in, say, the next 5 years?
Yeah, I honestly, I think that Arteria and documentation technology as a category will be a category. And that's, we laugh at it now, but 15, 20 years ago, before Salesforce made CRM a category, CRM may have been a subset of content management or some other category. I think that is going to be something that we're already seeing a trend towards. And I like to think that we're already a global leader in that category. And in particular with the focus on financial services, we think we are headed down a path where we can be the ubiquitous documentation platform and solution that everyone uses in financial services for documentation.
So the Kleenex of documentation management and contract artificial intelligence becomes Arteria.
Rather than Xerox, it'll be Arteria in it.
I love it. I love it. Well, we're coming to the end, and I warned the audience. I shouldn't say warned. I foreshadowed with the audience this question, but as a fintech founder, what advice would you give to others looking to either start or just starting their startup journey?
Yeah, from me and our perspective at Arteria, we have a very strong leadership team, and in particular our co-founders, myself, Shelby Austin, Jonathan Wong, as well as our senior staff. The level of trust that we have is exceptionally high, and that did not happen overnight. It takes time to build that, but that is something that has been critical to our success, and will continue to be critical to our success, because we all believe that we're going to get through whatever we're going through, whether it's the good or the bad, the ups and the downs. You want to trust the people that are in the boat with you, and you want to be in the boat with the people that you're in the boat with. That's critical, not just in making sure you come out of the other side when there's choppy waters, but it makes it more fun too when you're with people that you trust and work well with and enjoy a laugh with, as well as a tough conversation with. Having that type of trust, not just among co-founders, but also amongst senior staff, will get you through a lot of choppy waters that maybe even experience and coordinated experience may not be able to get you through.
So I'm going to have to send you, Simon Sinek did this really cool diagram based on the Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
And he interviewed a whole bunch of Navy SEALs and asked them what the most important things were. And they would rather have somebody who is not as good at the particular task or role, but they trust implicitly. And it's really cool to kind of see that. And it's amazing to hear you bring that to it, because trust is so fragile. And it takes a lot of work, but that is a big key to success. And I'm so happy to hear you say that. Before we walk out or close up for the day, however you want to say it, how can individuals or companies interested in working with Arteria AI connect with you and the team?
Yeah, you can find us on LinkedIn at Arteria AI. You can find me on LinkedIn, Abrar Huq, or send me an email, abrar@arteria.ai.
Fantastic. I will go ahead and put those down in the notes down here, way down here. So we'll go ahead and put those in. Also, if you're listening, they'll be in the show notes as well. So we'll make sure to have all those links really easy to get to it. I'll also put the URL Fintech Confidential /Arteria.ai for you guys all to go to as well to find out more about Arteria. And Abrar, this has been fantastic. I love talking about data. So I geek out about this. And like I told you pre-show, I have another 50 questions I wanted to ask, but we don't have nearly the time. Do you have any closing thoughts or comments about the future of fintech?
Yeah, the future of fintech is in the hands of all of us. There will be tough times, and I think there's a particularly rocky time that gets through it, that some people are going through right now, and many fintechs are dealing with right now in the market, with market conditions being what they are. But positivity, trust, and cohesion will get you through one way or another. I'm excited to be a part of the fintech community and ecosystem. And thank you for having me on the show, Ted.
Abrar, thank you once again. This has been fantastic. And I look forward to following Arteria AI on its journey into the next 5 years and beyond.
Awesome. Thanks, Ted.
Support provided by Solvpath. In e-commerce, it's really easy to get bogged down with basic support inquiries, whether that's where is my package, how do I return or exchange this item, or just to cancel a subscription. Solvpath is an AI-driven customer support system that uses a visual format and self-serve technology to quickly and effectively resolve issues, resulting in satisfying support experiences for customers. Customize a visual support experience for your e-commerce brands and increase your overall performance, enhance the customer experience, and drastically reduce support costs. Get the best customer support system for your business. Get Solvpath. Get started by visiting getsolvpath.com.
This has been a production of Diamond D3 Media, with all rights reserved. This is provided for informational purposes only. It is not offered or intended to be used as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. We strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information. but will not be responsible for any missing facts or inaccurate information. You comply and understand that you should use any of this information at your own risk. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile financial assets, so research and make your own financial decisions.